So welcome to Bike Cafe for the October 2023 Bike Cafe. We have a preview for you of the upcoming Pedal Summit, which is coming up really fast. And I know all of you are anxiously awaiting and are excited as I am to be part of this historic event here. And I want to welcome our guests from other affiliated bicycle organizations that have joined us this evening to share with us. We have President Fresno Cycling Club, Dennis Ball, and President of C Corp, John Marquez. So thank you both for joining us, and we will like to um, address the project that we've kind of just been working on, waiting, keeping the maybe the fun part of this for last, the Pedal Summit finale that we've got cooking up here. So we've been plotting and scheming. Dennis and I and Joe Castanero have been meeting Tuesday mornings at a clandestine location that shall remain unknown. And we've been putting together the rides for that part of it. And John has kindly agreed to include a beginner mountain bike ride to Sycamore Island as part of the offering for that. So that's kind of where we're going to end up on, along with the other Sunday closing event, which will be the WTF ride, which Edna can share with us. I don't know if Julie's going to be able to join us, and I'm sure we can, go into some detail on that as well. So, but anyway, starting back at the beginning of this process, as you may recall, the idea of the Bike Summit was kind of evolved over the last a year and a half or so in conjunction with the Fresno-Munster sister city relationship. As you all know, we sent a delegation to Munster, and we've been working with the Fresno State Transportation Institute, and we did a summer bike academy around this. So this is all culminating on October 27th with the Fresno State Transportation Institute's Fresno Innovations Transportation Summit here. So with a pedal theme to it this year in conjunction with the Sister City project. So I don't know if I've shared with you, I had always ever since San Calvia, I had this kind of dream of having a bike summit that all the members of the bicycle community could actually connect around bikes to actually, have the opportunity to meet each other and kind of share. A lot of times we're in our own little groups that we have that are really wonderful, and there's so many different bicycle groups. But having people kind of share what they're doing and with other people to kind of let people know about this was kind of my idea of having a bike summit, of kind of bringing the bike community together to again build community around bikes. So that was that was back way back, and I had given up ever having any hope of that ever happening. And then this the Munster delegation arrived in Fresno about a year and a half ago, and we kind of things started. My dream revived, and the part of the Munster connection is interesting because one of the actually one of the city council members from Munster was actually was an exchange student to Edison High School back in the 90s. His name is like Philip Hoffman, and he has stayed connected with Fresno ever since. So that may have been kind of one of the reasons that this thing happened. So we owe great debt to Edison High School for their having their exchange student program with students from Munster like Philip. So I got a chance to meet him when he was here a year and a half ago, and then again when he was in Munster, and really nice fellow. So I believe he's going to be here this time around too. So that said, I would like to kind of start off kind of in chronological order, and I beg your apologies because this has been a kind of a work in process, and we are encountering bumps in the road daily, and we have not ironed out all the bumps yet. So we have been dealing with venue changes and date changes and speaker changes and stuff. So everything's kind of still semi-fluid. So I will update you to the minute of what's going on with all of that. But be that as it might be, I am going to start off with some of the first event that I would like to share a screen about that will be taking place as part of the events around the program. So I'm going to share a screen here, and I am going to let's see, go to I'm sure you've all probably been to it, but I don't know if you can see my screen. It's basically it's the Fresno Transpose Summit.org. The homepage is here, and I will call your attention to the fact that the one thing that needs to be updated on this is it was originally supposed to be at the Fresno Convention Center, but it got moved to the Valdez Hall, so it's not too far away. But if you are going on Friday, October 27th, go to Valdez Hall and don't go to the Convention Center. So that is that, and I will go over to the events page, which again is being updated, but there's pre and post summit events. And so the first event is actually taking place at Fresno State on Wednesday, October 25th at noontime, which will be at the Satellite Student Union. Does everybody know where the Satellite Student Union is? Raise your hand if you know where that's at. No? Oh, okay. Well, be forewarned, the Fresno State campus has been torn asunder for infrastructure improvements, and the Satellite Student Union is on the north side of campus, so it's most easily approachable from the Barstow side. And last I drove by there, and I saw this huge cloud of dust arising from around the Satellite College Union. So I'm hoping that it's settled by the time that next week arrives for this event. So, but it is if you Google Fresno State Satellite Student Union, you can find parking. Now the other key to Fresno State is you actually have to pay parking. So there are kiosks around. So if you do go by car, plan to spend a few bucks at the kiosk for that. If you ride your bike, there is kind of limited bike parking there. So bring a good lot, because bike theft is a well-known problem on campus there. So anyway, Gil Peñalosa, who I may have introduced to you before, is the number 13 top urbanist, according to Planetizen magazine that is on top of these things. And he is coming to us from Toronto, Canada, most directly, but originally he is from Bogota, Colombia, who 30 years ago started the open street movement, the ciclovías, which Sencalvia was derived from, was actually started by this guy and his brother Enrique, who was the mayor of Bogota. So we have the pleasure of hosting Gil, who's going to be our keynote speaker, and he is offered to come. He actually offered to cancel his trip to Copenhagen so he could come to Fresno early and give these community presentations, because he is actually, a really has a commitment to develop cities, and he saw Fresno as kind of in much need of his his many talents. So this is going to be directed towards students, and as you can see, Gil's thing is 8 to 80 cities. So his theme is cities for everyone. And that means young people as well as old people like me. So he's actually kind of all about making cities that are healthier and happier. And so he's going to talk about how do we do that, and examples of how that has happened. So there is apparently going to be some food there. So if you're a poor starving student, check it out. So anyway, I highly recommend getting a chance to see Gil for free. And Also, the next day, moving on to the next pre-summit event, also involves Gil. That he will be giving another presentation about affordable, equitable, and sustainable cities to those attendees that the U.S. Green Building Council is sponsoring at the San Joaquin River Parkway Trust in the barn, and that's going to be around 5 to 6:30 or so. And I must add that the Fresno Parkway is actually allowing this to happen free. So thank you, Fresno River Parkway, for supporting this community improvement event. So that's going to happen on Thursday evening, if you're able to get out there for that. So the latest twist and bump in the road to the Pedal Summit will be actually that the Engine Inside Film Festival, which had previously been scheduled for Saturday night at Fresno State, has had to be moved because, can anybody guess why? What happens at Fresno State on Saturday nights? And
Homecoming game.
homecoming game? Yes, you got it. So we were told Monday, yesterday, that there would be no place for anybody to squeeze in near the Peters Education Building, because there's also some sort of event going on at the Save Mart Center at the same time as our little movie at 7 o'clock. So fast forward to today, and so we have actually gotten approval from the River Parkway. Thank you, Sharon Weaver and the River Parkway, and Laura Gromas from U.S. Green Building Council for working on this all day. And so they have graciously allowed us to tag on to the Gil Peñalosa presentation, which will end by 7. So we will be showing the engine inside in the barn, hopefully on Thursday instead of Saturday night. So we get a 2-for-1 deal. It's all free. They are collecting suggested donations, so if you're feeling generous to help out, that's cool. But it's not that's optional, and you can RSVP on our website or on the U.S. Green Building Council website. So that, like I say, is going to actually fast forward to the movie part of it, since we're going to do this in sequence. So going to I'm gonna let's see, change screens here. Can you see my the engine inside announcement here? So I thought I had updated and saved it to change this from the Leon Peters, but apparently it didn't save. But as you can see, the engine inside is coming on now. It's going to be, yeah, this I thought I had updated it, but apparently it didn't. Well, Apricot and I are having our ongoing uh, relationship issues. I apologize for sharing you inaccurate information. But I would like to play the trailer if I can, and if I can change to.
You seem to be muted, Tony.
Ah, that helps. Okay. Thank you, Nick. I don't know how I got muted, but somehow, can you hear me now? Okay. Okay. Was that a yes? Okay.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear the audio on YouTube here?
We all
Can you hear
share
that?
this amazing piece of machinery.
Yes.
We all
Okay.
have a common language. Doesn't matter what language we speak, but we all speak bike.
If it wasn't for that bike, even after leaving rehab, I probably would have gone back.
Because it's very difficult in this country to change the perception about women on bicycles.
I had to go to school with one exercise book, mostly barefooted, like trekking 8 miles every day to and from school.
We are up against a giant Goliath in terms of the perception of cycling, and yet the gains and the wins, if cycling can be embraced, are huge.
The bicycle has been ridden in every corner of the globe, shaping our streets, our communities, even ourselves. It has been called our noblest invention, and yet it remains overlooked as a real solution to many of the global challenges we're facing today. There are over 2 billion of them on the planet. Each one of them has a story to tell.
Nothing else really matters other than me and that ribbon of dirt.
I let that speed, that adrenaline is your heart. I don't care what bike I'm on as long as I'm on a bike. That's bike life.
I'm always going to go on. I'm always going to keep doing this. I'm always going to change. I'm always going to fight.
When we get on a bicycle, not only do we better ourselves, we better our world.
Okay. That is that. Oops. Oh no. It's YouTube. How do I stop muting myself? I turn myself.
You're muted again, Tony.
I'm trying to turn off my sound here. So. All right. Where's the YouTube here? Okay. I thought I closed it. Maybe it's down here. Okay. I'm gonna. Here it is. I found it. Stop. Okay. Stop, Red Bull. So. All right. Okay. Apologies for that interlude, musical interlude. So. Okay. Back to back to the pedal summit. So that is leading up to the pedal summit on Friday. which is actually the main course here. So the program again is being updated, but if it will start if you are planning to attend with Gil speaking first thing in the morning with welcome and introductions. And then we'll have breakout sessions. There's, as you know, there's two tracks. There's a and B track. So the A track is the bicycle themed one, and so we're going to have a panel with Tony Boren and some panelists from Munster and Netherlands, and Jill Gormley from City of Fresno, and some actually interesting researchers on bicycle and economics strategies for finding the optimal places to put bike lanes for economic development. So hopefully they're taking note here. And then there's the sessions for the traditional transportation engineers on the future of e-vehicles and electric airplanes and all kinds of cutting edge stuff. And then there will be at 11 o'clock the bike commerce session, which is going to be moderated by Cassandra Little, who's the head of the Fresno Black Metro Chamber of Commerce that is doing the e-bike share program. So we'll be having Keisha Thomas from the Clean Share Mobility Project talking about that. We're having some of the economic development staff from City of Fresno, Lance Lippincott, who was supposed to go to Munster and got COVID like I did, except he got it before I did. So he didn't go, unfortunately. But so he's coming to this, and then we had hoped to have Rich Holdsworth from Rubber Soul Bikes as the representative of the bicycle industry and retail business in Fresno. And sadly, Rich has a family member terminally ill that he has to go visit back in the Midwest. So he is not going to be able to make it. So we are hoping that Ben Medrano will be his stand-in. However, as you may know, Ben also suffered a severe injury in a parking lot some time ago, and is still recovering for that. So he may or may not be able to feel up to it on that day. So if he can make it or not. But we are very proud and excited about Rubber Soul's sponsoring an e-bike raffle, and Edna can probably chime in about our e-bike raffle. But it's actually a $3,800 e-bike that Rubber Soul is contributing to the cause as a raffle item. So in order to encourage people to stick around till the end of the day, as if the mayor's panel at the end was not an adequate incentive. We would encourage you to buy a raffle ticket. So
yeah, the bike is a very, very cool Como 3.0 IGH internal gear hub e-bike class 1. So pedal assist up to 20 miles an hour. It's very cool.
And and then there's also again, there will be representatives from Munster on a lot of these panels. There will be folks, and then the next session is the transportation innovations that will be moderated by Laura Gromas, and will feature some things from Munster on there as well. And then our lunch keynote speaker, let's see, was going to be Daniel Sperling, but they switched that around. So it's actually going to be the lunch will be part of the awards ceremony. So there will be a lot of awards giving out. So stay tuned for who's going to be awarded for that. And then also there are the lunchtime speaker is from Dubai who's interested in autonomous vehicles, which ironically is not a great interest to most of us bicyclists, other than how can they make them so they don't kill us. So hopefully he can tell us about that, and somebody will ask him that. So after the awards day afternoon session, we are also hoping to have some exhibitors that will be, kind of going on while all of this other stuff is going on, and so what that's going to look like, we're still working that out. So hopefully we'll have some exhibitors, but as of now, if you want to be an exhibitor, it's wide open here. So but at any rate, oops. Getting back to program. The other thing that I neglected to mention that will be happening kind of right at the beginning of this is the unveiling of the bicycle sculpture, the 3D bicycle sculpture. So that will actually kind of be happening, kind of somewheres early. It's not quite on the agenda yet, but that's kind of the idea of, say, if you want to. I'm very excited about the bike sculpture, and that's really exciting. I think everybody will kind of love it. While we're on the subject of the bike sculpture, which is going to be revealed, I was going to ask Edie to share screen, so I'm going to stop sharing screen and let somebody else kind of share with us about the. Let's see if I can find where's the unshare menu. Oops, it's not letting me unshare. Okay, let's see. I have to unshare. Okay, where is the Zoom? Okay, well maybe. Can you see my screen now? Okay, here is the pedal. It's called the Pedal Forward Project. And let's see, there was a video on that, and there you go. Were you able to share that, Edie, or is that?
We'll try it with audio.
Okay. Thank you for unsharing me. So this project that you're seeing there, the Pedal Ahead project, is a project that the Fresno State students are working on, and they are, put this together to feature the work of Kathleen King, the artist, that will be unveiled at the Pedal Summit. We had sadly we had hoped to have it installed at Fresno City College after the summit, but unfortunately, due to bureaucratic red tape at the community college level, that ain't happening this year probably, and it may need to be delayed until springtime for the permanent installation of the art project. So as a lot of people in the public won't be able to see the artwork displayed at the summit itself, we're actually going to arrange to have the sculpture available for the public to see at the ride, the mural ride on Saturday morning. So I'm kind of jumping ahead there a little bit. So you will have a chance, if you go on the mural ride, to see Kathleen's work, which it's basically getting spray painted and powder coated. It's already been plasma cut in the welding shop at Fresno City College, so it's coming along, and hopefully will be done by the start of the summit on schedule. So so just heads up, I'm thinking about the future permanent installation, which we still hope will be at Fresno City College, but I'm thinking maybe that's a bike month event. So so maybe something to look forward to for that. So, but I did want to, I don't know if you're able to share the little creatures that that Kathleen has created, the Oblivia one. Is that, let's see, not much to see on that video, but if you can go to the home page there again, I think it had it. Okay, so yeah, there's Oblivia and Raisin are yeah, if you can click on that one. Kathleen has created these really cute little characters that have personalities. I told her I think it would make a great Pixar movie. Hopefully she'll copyright this. But these are our very own Pedal Summit. So they're actually creating like swag that has the bike scribble art on it, which I definitely got to have one of these here. So something to kind of look forward to. So she's created these really cool characters that I guess Oblivia is one of them that I really like. Oblivia is named after the types of writers who ride around and are oblivious to their surroundings because they're having such a good time and need to pay attention more. So there's kind of a little messaging, safety messaging, and incorporated in the artwork there. So okay, so that's the artwork there. So going back, if you can let me share a screen again. Sorry for the interruption there, but I really excited about that. And going back to the summit events. Okay, moving down back to the let's see, the program. Just to highlight some of the other sessions of which John Liu is going to be the moderator of. So thank you, John, for talking about or taking on this one, local bicycling challenges. So John, we've been talking a little bit about that. So I don't know, can you give us a teaser about the local bicycling challenges session that we're going to be working on here?
Yeah, so it's still kind of a work in progress, but we do want to discuss, first of all, what are some of the successes, but then what are also some of the challenges? And we do have a wide variety of speakers from Fresno PD, from Fresno County, from City of Fresno, and then also from Munster, Munster PD, and I think Munster from the planning side. And we definitely want to hear what some of the lessons learned. But we don't want to just talk about what the challenges are. We also want to see, are there any kind of solutions? Whether it's dealing with some of the coordination issues with the various jurisdictions, whether it's educational issues, whether it's enforcement issues. So we're hoping to have some actionable items and just some good dialogue from this session.
So great, yeah. So Casey Lauderdale is going to be on this panel, and as on the planning side, and it's Mohammed Alimi from Fresno County Public Works there. So that's I think going to be a kind of a broad range there to talk about some of our challenges there. So and there's also high-speed rail for you high-speed rail fans, and also, there's a bicycle education system, which I think is going to be really interesting. That will be talking about the Munster, education program. They start with the kindergartners, and they have like puppet shows and stuff. And then fourth grade, you get a bicycle license, and then you're kind of turned loose on Munster, and somehow they get to school and don't get run over for the most part. So that'll be I think cool, and we'll have John Belli is going to be on one of also on the local bicycling challenges, I believe there. So he's our liaison for the Active Transportation Advisory Committee. So. And let's see, and then I'll be also involved with the head of the Central Valley Health Policy Institute, Dr. Tanya Pacheco Werner, who's on the Airboard, the state carb thing, and we'll have some other folks, Dave Lucchini from the Fresno County Public Health Department. We'll have Dr. Bill Dominic, who you may know is a bicyclist that got hit by a car and ended up in his own emergency room, talking about the trauma system and the aspect of emergency, response as part of our safe system approach to that. And we also have Samir Sheikh from the Air Board, so we got some heavy hitters there. So talking about health and safety innovations there. And then our last keynote speaker is actually Dan Sperling from UC Davis, and so he does like research on bicycling, and he's a Blue Planet Prize professor at UC Davis, and he's actually going to, I think, join us on some of the rides, as will Gil Peñalosa on some of the rides on Saturday, coming up next after we get past the summit. But we'll end up with a panel of mayors from Mayor Angela Staller from Munster, along with our very own Mayor Jerry Dyer, and then we'll have the Mayor Kim Norton from Rochester, and Gil Peñalosa. He actually ran for mayor, so we're giving him partial credit for being on the mayor panel, and the vice mayor of Eindhoven, the Netherlands, who's coming all the way from Netherlands to come to Fresno and talk about bikes, which I think is pretty amazing. So as you can see, our Fresno County Bicycle Coalition sponsorship there, and even got Bike Station in there. So so those are our sponsors, so we need to get Fresno Cycling Club and Seacork on there too. So thank you, Dennis and John, for sending us your logos today. So moving on to the Friday night events, there is going to be a VIP event to follow at South of Shaw Brewery, but it's kind of open to the public, for their normal business. They're just going to be using that little patio for the Munster delegation. But there will also be a Fresno bike party ride that will start at the same time in the same place to highlight Fresno's vibrant street bike scene to our visitors from Munster, to see that we can have fun on bikes in Fresno too. So they're going to be doing kind of a pub crawl around to some of the other breweries on their rolling out from South of Shaw at 7:30, heading towards Full Circle, Tioga Sequoia, and I hear there's a new brewery down south of Ventura at the Appropriations Brewery. Anybody been there yet? So they may end up back sometime there. So so that's Friday night. Bike Party is sponsoring that. If you're interested, they're on Facebook. The rides on Saturday, the next day's events, are still haven't been kind of transferred over to the Fresno State, to the Fresno Summit. So I'm going to go back to FresnoBike.org and see if I can go over the routes on those and highlight some things on that. So the community bike rides, we actually have a cool flyer that is available for that. So, oops, wrong one. Sorry about that. It looked like this one. Can you see my screen there with the flyer? It's kind of small. It's a full page flyer, but basically the mural ride will be starting at 9 o'clock at the Cultural Arts District Park. Let me see if I can make this bigger.
I don't see the flyer, Tony.
Oh, you're not seeing it? Okay, let me see if I can share screen. New share. Okay. Uh, let's see. How about now? Are you seeing a flyer?
Yes.
Okay. Does it need to be bigger or is it too small?
Yes.
No, that's good.
You can see it? Okay. So, so we're basically really excited about the mural ride. Thank you, Dennis and Joe, Fresno Cycling Club, for leading this ride. And it will feature a approximately, actually, it's about 5 miles, I think, around it downtown. It'll meet at 9 at the Cultural Arts District Park, and then it'll roll out about 9:30, and it will feature Gil Peñalosa. If you didn't get a chance to meet him earlier at some of the other events, you'll be able to go for a bike ride with him. He agreed to stay longer before he has to get on the Amtrak about 1:15 and go back up to the Bay Area. So he has graciously agreed to go on our ride and see our urban downtown. And we will also have a docent from the Fresno Arts Council, Andrea Mell, who's will join us to give us the background on the history of the Arts District and some of the more significant public art projects, including some of the sculptures that she can speak to there. So thank you, Dennis. You want to say anything about Killer Bees and Joe and Fresno Cycling Club in relation to the mural ride, and then we'll move on to the other ride we can talk about shortly. But I think let's see if I can. I'll after I stop sharing this page, I'll actually go over the route with you. But go ahead, Dennis. Anything you'd like to comment on?
Well, just trying to create the event so that we can get it being shared so people can sign up for it.
Yeah. So Edna's creating a QR code that you can scan that'll link to a link tree, so you can sign up for any of these events.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah.
So it'll take you to the Fresno Cycling Club for both the Fresno Cycling Club rides, the mural ride, and the Great Central Valley ride. So if you're not a member of the Fresno Cycling Club, you can still sign up, but you may have to put in an email or something to get a login there. Um, so thank you, Dennis. And then
It'd be pretty simple.
yeah, the next ride is the Tour de Tower Cycle Track Social Ride that will probably not take 3 hours, but it may be abbreviated because the cycle tracks are not done yet. So depending on how much of the cycle tracks actually get done, we hope to highlight them and give people a chance to ride around, and actually for people in the Tower District to see that people actually ride around in them. So if you are interested in joining on that, that's going to be after lunch. The mural ride is going to probably end around 11:30, and our plan is to repair for a pizza repast at the Tower at the South of Shaw Brewery, where you could actually sample some of the Munster style Helles beer that is part of this the Sister City project. So I tasted it; it's pretty good. So I encourage you to check that out after the mural ride at South of Shaw Brewery, which is located near the Rainbow Ballroom. We'll show you where it is. It's on Amador and Broadway there. So the tour to Tower will start on the west lawn of the Fresno City College, kind of by the bus stop, which is actually where we would really like to see the bike scribble sculpture. So if you can imagine when we start there, what it would look like there, and maybe help us sign a petition to Fresno City College to get them to go along with it. At any rate, with that will be available as well. we've also invited some of our city council folks, so I'm hoping they may join us for some of these rides in the Mural District or the cycle track ride. So you don't be surprised if we get some elected officials there, and maybe if that happens, that we may get Fresno PD bike patrol escort if that happens as well. So, and that ride actually will be kind of a joint effort with the Active Transportation Advisory Committee. So it should say led by myself, as well as members of the Active Transportation Advisory Committee. So if you haven't had a chance to meet and talk to any of the ATAC members, that would be a good chance to connect with them. So moving on to Sunday, there's 2 rides on Sunday, and I will let Edna talk about the WTF ride, which will be happening at 11, and then the Great Central Valley Bike Ride is also going to be mushrooming to include a bike meetup that John and Dennis and Ron Cows and I have been working on. So we'll kind of end up on that, because that's going to be the finale. So for all of this bike meetup group. So anyway, go ahead and Edna, why don't you tell us a little about the WTF ride?
Yeah, so the WTF ride is it's Julie Conji's ride, and what I know is that we're going to meet at 10:30 in the morning on the 29th in front of the LGBTQ Resource Center downtown. And the plan is to have kickstands up at 11, ride out to Gazebo Gardens for coffee, and then end at Fab to watch the doggy parade in Tower. So it's going to be a short, leisurely ride, and yeah. Does anyone have any questions on that? Does anyone know what WTF means? It's the Women's Trans Femme Ride. Everyone's welcome. Show of hands, who's actually going to that one in this group? Sweet.
Great. Well,
but yeah, that's the gist of it. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Edna. And so great. And so this is actually another historic first, right? Or is this the first WTF ride, right? So that'll be.
Yeah, it's Fresno's first. So.
Yeah, glad to have that included as part of the Pedal Summit. So so the Great Central Valley Bike Route. So again, this is actually a collection of rides that is actually getting bigger. So the original thought, because Michael Smiley, who is the originator of the Great Central Valley Bike Touring Route, which is of which the Fresno segment is part of the route, which spans the entire length of California from Redding to Bakersfield. Michael has worked with us with some members of the local bicycle organizations like the Fresno Cycling Club. Tina Sumner was involved with that, and so we have invited Michael Smiley to be one of our panelists on bicycle commerce to actually talk about the economic benefits of bicycle touring. So he's going to give a presentation there, but he's also agreed to join us on the ride, which he originated. But we're only going to do what we're calling the Fresno spur of this ride, and so Dennis and Joe are going to be ride leaders for this part of the ride. So it's actually going to follow. It's going to start Dennis, you want to describe the route there, and we'll have people decide if they want to do this ride and how to sign up for it there. So. Oops, you're muted there. Sorry.
I, you're talking about which one? The
Yeah,
long
yeah,
ride?
yeah. The Great Central Valley
The
Bike Route.
Great Central Valley. So we're gonna start out at Woodward Park, and it's there's parking. I guess we can, depending on how many people show up. It's gonna be about a 40. Would we say a 44-mile ride?
Yeah, 40. I think 46, right? Something like that.
46 miles. I was just looking at the other route too while you were talking. But it's gonna take us on a counterclockwise route. Leaving Woodward Park, we'll start by the BMX center actually. Across from there, have a little coffee and treats or something. Then we're gonna head out. We'll go down Palm Avenue, and that'll take us down, and we'll just meander downtown, and then go through downtown area, and then head out on Huntington Boulevard, and then we'll catch the Mackenzie Trail, and then we'll wind up on Belmont, and we'll go east on Belmont, clear out to Academy, and then we'll go north on Academy up to Shaw, and then we'll go west on Shaw over to Amber, and then we'll kind of go into Clovis on Bullard, and then we'll cruise through downtown Clovis, and then we'll head out on the trail, the Clovis Rail Trail, and that'll take us out north of Clovis, and then head back out toward Woodward Park.
So yeah, so that'll actually start at we're actually going to meet at 9, but we're going to roll at 10 for that. So that's a long ride. So so that was kind of the original idea, but we wanted to have it at Woodward Park because we thought it would be cool, or I thought it would be cool, to actually start at the BMX park. Where there's actually the BMX track events going on from like 9 to 12. So I talked to Ron Cousin, and so he was all up for this idea. And then we talked to John Marquez from Seacork, and he thought we could actually add a kind of a beginner bike ride starting at the same point over to Sycamore Island as part of a kind of a panoply of different rides, kind of different strokes, but we could all kind of meet together at the BMX park. So we actually invited Mike Carbasi, who is the Sister City Munster delegation liaison, who will be kicking off the Pedal Summit, to kind of come to be kind of the closing keynote for this. So he's actually agreed to come, and Ron Cousin actually came up for a name for this ride because we're going to have coffee and donuts as the CBD ride event, which stands for Coffee, Bikes, and Donuts. So so thank you, Ron, for coming up with a catchy title for this event. So it's actually going to include, in addition to road bikes, BMX bikes, there's going to be actually a cruiser bike club that's going to come and show us their bikes, and then we'll be having the mountain bike ride with John. So John, can you tell us a little about what your plans are for the Seacork ride as part of this event?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we're happy to join you because we're all cyclists at heart. We don't hit the pavement at all on our rides, but we certainly have. You know, I've had plenty of years riding with Dennis on the road, but we'll leave Woodward Park, go to Wildwood Park, and cruise along the San Joaquin River through Van Buren property and to Sycamore. It's all a beautiful area. We recently did some work to clear out the trail of weeds So there's some single track, hence the mountain bikes. But really, any bike with even a semi-knobby would do just fine. So I'm guessing 10 to 12 miles, and we'll just get together, show our support for your program and everything you're doing. We appreciate it too.
Thank you, John. So it's 7:59. So I got 1 minute. If anybody has any questions, I want to thank Dennis and John for helping me kind of put this together, and to Ron for coming up with the Cruiser Mob folks. And oh, I forgot to mention also that they also Bike Party and the Cruiser Mob are also sponsoring a bike swap meet on Saturday at which is going to be like all morning until like 2 o'clock. So for anybody that's not going on the mural ride, if your thing is lowrider bikes, cruiser bikes, and or whatever other stuff they have at the bike swap at the Fresno Fairgrounds, Ron and Fresno Bike Party and the Cruiser Mob Senkel group are having a very cool bike swap. And sorry there's too much stuff all at one time. So anyway, that kind of brings us to the 8 o'clock hour, so I've got to close out. So I want to thank everybody. We'll go offline, and I can answer any other questions offline, but I also wanted to mention that we are really excited to have Melanie Curry from California Streets blog, who has actually offered to kind of come and cover this event statewide. So we'll put Fresno on the statewide Cal Streets blog map. So I'm looking forward to hosting Melanie Curry as well. And I know that we're going to really benefit by having that coverage from California Streets blog. So with that, thank you for attending this tonight's Bike Pedal Summit preview, and thank you for everybody for paying your dues to the Fresno County Bicycle Coalition and renewing your memberships. And if you haven't joined up, I know all of you have. My last piece before we shut off the recording is to put out an appeal for volunteers to help with the Pedal Summit. As I may have mentioned, if you are planning to attend the summit, there's a $35 community fee that you can actually attend the summit on Friday if you want to sign up to attend the summit itself. But we would like to do bike valet for some of the events, such as the summit itself. So if you and any of your friends would like to come and maybe donate a few hours to volunteer to staff our bike valet at the summit on Friday, as well as maybe for the event at the river there for the movie, although that's probably not a big problem. But anyway, hope to do some bike valet. So thank you. With that, I will close, and you could go ahead, Edie, please.